Evening, everyone. I would like to announce, call the meeting to order. The Board of Selectmen-Elect special meeting to make appointments for the ensuing term. Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021, a little at 5:10. We had some technical difficulties, so that's why we're starting late. Materials for this meeting are online at the town website in accordance with Governor Lamont's Executive Order 7B, Section 1, 9A, 9H, which extends the suspension of open meetings for in-person participation. Audio and video of this special meeting will be simultaneously televised on Channel 79 and YouTube in order to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting. In-person attendance is not permitted. I would ask everyone to mute yourself if you're not speaking, but I'm going to go through the roll call first, so you can stay with us until we get through the roll call. And I usually do it in alphabetical order. So we'll start with Joe Crisco.
Here.
Beth Heller is here. Paul Kyriakos.
Here.
David Lober.
Here.
Sheila McCrevin.
Here.
David Vogel.
Here.
Also, we have Gerald Weiner, Town Council.
Here.
Jerry Shaw is here. And Pua Ford is taping us and recording us for the public. Thank you for future reference. So with that, now I would ask everyone to mute yourself and then we start talking. Item 1 on the agenda is the Board of Selectmen-Elect to receive nominations and act on appointments to positions on the boards, commissions, offices, agencies, and other appointees of the town of Woodbridge for the ensuing terms of office. And item 1 with that is I'd like to have some opening remarks. I would like to begin by welcoming our new selectmen to our first meeting as the Board of Selectmen-Elect, Paul Kyriakos, David Lober, Sheila McCrevin, and David Vogel. Are joining me, and returning Selectman Joe Crisco for our first of many meetings to come. Congratulations to all of you on your election. There's much to do. I'm optimistic as we set out to work collaboratively on behalf of all the townspeople of Woodbridge. I would also like to note my deep appreciation to everyone who expressed interest in serving on the town on a board or a commission. I know there will be some people who are disappointed that they will not be able to serve, but there has really been an outpouring of interest from many wonderful and qualified folks. My priorities have been to select as many newcomers as possible while balancing the need to retain those who bring experience and institutional memory to the work of these boards and commissions. This really is a blending of the old and the new. I would like to thank both town committees for their timely communication of their respective nominations. It is much appreciated and helps a lot to streamline the process. You have before you in your packet for this meeting a list of nominees, many of whom are cross-endorsed, along with resumes and bio details for those who are seeking to be first-time members of boards and commissions. I would like to propose that we turn to each board and take nominations in an expedited manner. Then, after a motion to close the nominations for that board, we will proceed to vote on each individual nominee to that board until the available seats are filled. Hopefully you have all received the most updated Board or Commission list of nominees. And the first item is the Amity Regional Board of Education. Sheila McCrevin is joining the Board of Selectmen, so that creates a vacancy for, I believe, a 2-year term beginning July 1. So I will turn, this is a Democratic elected spot, so I will ask for a nominee I'll turn to Sheila for that, please.
We'd like to nominate Sudhir Karunakaran, and his resume is in the packet.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. Are there any other nominees? This is an elected position, so there usually aren't any. Correct, Jerry?
Correct.
I'll get better as I go along here. Sorry. Okay, with that, I will call the name of Sudhir Karunakaran to be on the Amity Board of Ed beginning July 1 of this year. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sounds like it's unanimous. Are there any abstentions or nays? Hearing none, thank you very much. Next commission is the Agricultural Commission, and very wonderfully, I guess everybody agreed there were two openings, and they were both cross-endorsed by both town committees. And I'll turn first to Sheila to nominate
Nomination of Andrea Urbano and Steve Muno.
Right, and as again, they were both nominated also by the Republican Town Committee, which is nice. So they were cross-endorsed. So we will first nominate, or I'm sorry, vote on Andrea Urbano as an unaffiliated to serve at the term ending 2025.
Excuse me, I didn't get a second on those two nominations.
Joe
Second.
Crisco's raising his hand. He's got it. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. My apologies. Andrea Urbano, I'll call it again. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or nays? Hearing none, it's unanimous. And the second person to 2025 was nominated Steve Muno. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. And that's a Democratic spot. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Hearing none, that's done. Okay. The next one, I guess we're doing these in alphabetical order. The next one is the Board of Finance. Sheila, do you have nominations?
Yes, Donovan Lofters for the term ending in 2023, which is Paul Kuriakos is filling out his term. And then Thomas Handler, Ellen Scalatar, and Dwight Rowland,
Thank
all
you.
for terms ending 2025.
Thank you. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any nominations? Go ahead, David.
I would like to nominate Steve Francis for the term of 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, David. Okay, so we'll take them in order. First one, Donovan Lofters. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Any nays? I think it's all aye on that one. It's hard to tell. I'm looking at the screen. I can't hear people. I'm sorry. Was that unanimous?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you have everybody just raise their hands so they can
Alright.
look at the screen?
Okay, that would be probably better. Thank you, guys. It's hard for me to hear. Okay, second one is Thomas Handler to 2025. All in favor, please raise your hand. I think we have 4. Any abstentions? Are there any nays? Okay, so that is a 4-2, correct?
Point of information, Ellen, I'm sorry. Ellen, will there be any discussion about the qualifications of any of these candidates?
We don't usually do that. Who's Ellen? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Helen. I'm sorry.
I'm Beth.
I'm reading the Board of Finance and my brain doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, Beth.
Okay. We don't usually do
maybe-
that. We tried to discuss it ahead of time between the parties, and I don't know if that was done, the nominating committees.
Well, for my purposes, since I was not involved in any of those discussions, and I don't know who was involved in those discussions, before I vote on things, I would like to actually have some discussion.
Okay, so noted.
Possibility among our group, who prepared this list. I got one list and then I've got a revision of the list that came today. And where was that prepared?
That was prepared by the Democratic Town Committee nominating group.
So this is a Democratic Town Committee list that we're looking at.
Correct.
And they are the ones who discussed it, but none of the members of the board really actually discussed it unless you happen to be on the Democratic Town Committee.
No, the Republicans discuss on their side. I guess this is how this works. The Democrats discuss their list. The Republican nominating committee discuss their list. I know that Lawrence did reach out to Chuck Pine to have a conversation, and I'm not sure he heard back from Chuck, but to discuss perhaps amongst themselves, the chairman of both the town committees. So to perhaps have a discussion how it goes, but I don't know if he heard back. But this is the way we've done it in the past, and this is the way we'll continue.
Well, I'm wondering, why we would continue with the way we've done it in the past, if it seems to be a little bit, I'm not feeling like I've had any part of the discussion about why a specific candidate over another candidate. It's been a list that's been proposed to me and then modified and sent back to me with a different list in some cases. And, you know, that I think some extremely well qualified, great people have been left off of that list, and I don't know why. I would like specifically to speak towards Steve Francis as my nominee to the Board of Finance, because as a past town treasurer, a professional at the highest levels of the banking industry, and as a person who works fantastically in groups and is always one trying to find consensus, is a non-confrontational consensus builder. With his background, his experience in Woodbridge, his desire to serve, I don't understand why he didn't receive more, consideration here. All I see is a list of 4 names, and I would like to know why that is.
We can talk about this offline at another time. This is the way we're going to do it. We're going to go forward.
Okay, we're not going to
Thank you.
discuss any individual candidates.
No, we never do. We haven't done that ever. We maybe 2 years from now we can do it, but we don't usually do that. The resumes appear and we vote on the folks.
Pardon me for then my ignorance, because it is my first meeting, and I I have attended town meetings, and I have attended Board of Selectmen meetings, and Beth, I did attend the town meeting where you inspired us by saying that you thought local government is best when collaborative and not partisan, and you've said that many times. And at that meeting in 2019, town meeting, you promised the citizens of Woodbridge that you were going to continue working across the aisle to build consensus. And a secretive process that doesn't work across the aisle does not really build consensus, in my estimation.
I will tell you that in the past, and I've been doing this for many, many years, for 10 years, 20 years, not have been on the board, maybe 12 years, the town committee chairs usually get together and they discuss the candidates amongst themselves. And usually the chairman of the town committee tells the other town chairman. I know it worked when the Republicans were in charge of the town. The discussions were made not in secret, but to discuss a candidate amongst the two, so that there were not hurt feelings or that kind of thing. And it was agreed upon that this is who was going to be put forward. So we've been doing it this way all along, and it should have been done, in my opinion, at the town committee level if both chairmen had spoken to each other. But I believe for whatever reason, I don't get into that. But the nominating committee chairman or the chairman of the town committee should have spoken with each other, and I would encourage that going forward, because I do agree that we are better when we collaborate. But I'm not sure that happened.
I don't want to take all your time. I'm new. I'm trying to educate myself, and I will say that you are the first selectman, and it is in your power to make sure that it is a collaborative, not partisan process, because you are the one who can dictate that or who can change it. You don't have to do what was done in the past.
I believe that these 4 candidates are the best candidates, in my opinion, as well. I'll give you that. Okay. We can agree to
I don't agree with that, but I apparently a former town treasurer and a bank executive is not good enough for the finance committee. I will, speaking on behalf of the minority position, does not seem to me that when I read the list that you have presented me here within, I got it an hour or so ago, that the positions that represent the minority position have been decided upon by the minority side. They've been decided upon apparently by the majority side.
That's correct. Right.
That doesn't seem to me to be collaborative. That seems to me to be hyper partisan, and I hate to start thinking that's the group I've joined, because I really do want to work together with all of my colleagues, and I hope that you will recognize that we don't have to do the minimum. We could do more than that. We can do better. We can involve people so that they are not frustrated in this town by being shut out, by their voices being silent. That's all I have to say about it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I forgot how far along we were.
Board of Finance.
May I just ask a question? I did not realize that we were doing a hand vote and not a voice vote, and I wasn't looking at the screen. So I don't know what the vote was on Donovan Lofters.
I think it was unanimous.
That was
Oh, no,
unanimous.
was it 4-2? I'm not sure.
No, Donovan was unanimous.
All right, thank you.
You left off with Thomas Handler. You left off with Thomas Handler there.
Did we get through that one?
Yes, you have
No, you
four,
need
four
two.
yeses and two nays.
And you have the names. Okay, great.
Mhm.
All right, thank you. Next on the list is a reappointment, Ellen Skeletar to 2025. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
That is also 4-2. Thank you. Or raising hands, sorry. And lastly, to 2025, Dwight Rowland.
Could I please have, could I please have a roll call vote on this one?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Out loud, you would like, correct? Okay.
Roll call, simple roll call, Robert's rules.
Okay, all right. Beth Heller, aye. Paul Kyriakos,
Aye.
David Lober,
Nope.
Joe Prisco,
Aye.
David Vogel,
I don't believe that the majority should be allowed to define the minority, so I vote nay.
thank you. Sheila,
Yes.
okay. All right, thank you very much. Next one.
I'd like to revisit that vote. That candidate is not a minority candidate, which means that we didn't have minority candidates selected. We did not put that candidate forward, and I
Understand
would,
that. It
I would-
satisfies, Jerry, can you address this? It satisfies the minority rule, correct?
So there's a minority representation statute that I'm sure you're aware of that defines how many people can be of a certain party on a board or commission.
I'm
For a
aware of
five-
that rule. Mhm.
So there's no requirement, that the Board of Selectmen majority take a nominee of any party. They can decide it could be all taken from the Democratic Town Committee, or it could be taken all from the Republican Town Committee.
Sure.
Tradition has been in Woodbridge that each town committees exchange their names and they generally try and work things out. But there are many, many occasions where the Republicans, when they were in charge, did not take Democrats that were offered, and there are many, many occasions when Democrats did not take and continue not to take Republicans when they were offered. It is simply a question of a majority vote of the Board of Selectmen as to who they take.
I think the real politic in Woodbridge has changed. I mean, last election, we had 48% of the Republican endorsed candidates voted for, which is pretty much unheard of in a town which is mostly Democratic. And 75% of the unaffiliated voters voted with the Republican nominated candidates. It's also the first time in my recollection that 250 people have been interested enough in town politics to come to the town meeting and be very vocal about what was going on. So I think there's been a sea change in Woodbridge, and I would advise you to be cognizant of that and to act accordingly. You know, this Democrat majority is not set in stone. And I think if you really want to reach across the aisle, this is your chance to do it, to actually do it, as opposed to giving lip service to it. And that's what I would like to see, and that's what Dave Ohl would like to see. You know, I think the idea of politics as usual being the reason for politics as usual is no longer valid, and I think it should be reconsidered. And you know, to take a person like Dwight Rowland, who I personally like very much, and say he's more qualified than Steve Francis is absurd. It really is absurd, and it's impossible to defend, except by saying that, well, we've always done it this way, and we're in the majority, and we can do anything we want, and you know, you can go fly a kite. Which, you know, if you want to go on record for doing that, that's fine. But this will have ramifications.
I am not telling you, and I would never tell you to go fly a kite. So that's.
I'm telling myself, okay? I mean, that let's not quibble over that. But I think we have a vocal and motivated population, and I expect that, you know, public comment at the upcoming Board of Selectmen meetings is going to be loud, and it's going to be ugly. And I'd like to be able to nip that in the bud by working collaboratively, which apparently we can do, but we may not be willing to do at this point. So
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
just going to leave that there. And
All right, we really have to keep going here.
yeah, I know. I'm done.
Thank you. The next item alphabetically is the Fire Commission. And
No, we
there are
haven't.
two-
We haven't.
You
finished.
have to vote on Dwight Rowland. You have to vote on Dwight Rowland.
I'm sorry, do we have nominations? I thought we did do it. You wanted,
Yeah.
a,
Oh, we got
But
through
you
Ellen
wanted-
Skeletor.
We did a voice vote for a roll call vote on Dwight.
right, yeah, you wanted a count.
I like
You know,
roll
Okay,
call.
you did it. Yes, okay.
Mhm.
all right, we good?
No, we didn't
Okay.
take a vote. We didn't, we
did.
voted on Skeletor. I thought we were voting on Roland, but we voted on Skeletor. We did not, we had two other nominees. We had Steve Francis as a nominee and we had Dwight Rowland as a nominee, and neither of them have been voted upon. And I would like
Dwight
a
was-
roll call vote for them.
Madam First Selectman, I believe Dwight Rowland received a roll call vote.
That's correct.
did.
Okay.
Jerry Shaw? I have it written down. I have
Yes, he's received a roll call vote. Dwight Rowland received a roll call vote.
And did Ellen receive? a roll-
Ellen received, it wasn't roll call, but it was 4 yay and 2 nay.
Thank you, okay.
Did Steve Francis
So
receive a
all-
vote? Because he was nominated.
No, the positions are all filled. There's no openings. It's the end. Okay, we'll try again. Let's go to the Fire Commission now. First, are there any nominations? Sheila, I'll turn to you first.
I have two nominations, Bruce Mandel and Pasquale Izzo.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Go ahead, David.
Yeah, we have Marty Halpern, who's a very good candidate.
Okay,
I second Marty Halpern, who is a professional firefighter and would bring a lot to that commission.
thank you.
That expertise should not be overlooked, and I think it has been by the nominating committee, whoever they may have been.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a second, by the way, for Bruce Mandel?
Second.
Thank you. And do we have a second for Pasquale Izzo?
Second.
Thank you. All right, with that, we'll begin the voting. First comes up Bruce Mandel till 2025. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays?
Nay.
Okay, thank you. 4-2. And then we have a second one on the Fire Commission, a Republican, 2025, Pasquale Izzo. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Is
Nay.
that two?
Well, I voted aye. I
Okay,
think
thank you. And-
Excuse me,
Yes,
David, would you clarify your vote again? David Lober?
aye.
Aye. On Pasquale. Okay.
Yes.
so it's a 5-1. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and both positions have been filled. Thank you. Moving on to the Police Commission, to 2025. Are there any nominations? There are two openings.
I have two nominations, Andrew Esposito and Michael Chambron.
Okay. I will note that Andrew Esposito was put forward by the Republicans as well, and unaffiliated is Michael Chandron. Okay. Are there any other nominations? Go ahead, David Vogel.
Yeah, I would like to nominate Steve Falsigno, who is an incumbent member of that commission, and a very good one.
Thank you. Okay.
And if I might, Beth, perhaps I can ask of our first selectman, the chair of that committee, who was formerly a Democrat, has switched to unaffiliated. And I suppose that accounts for why we have this kind of balance. Is that not right? Is that what happened? I don't understand how it's,
I don't know when he switched.
okay.
I don't know if it was, I don't think it was recent.
No, it was months ago, but the terms have expired since then. So I just wondered if
I can't
that
answer.
was affecting the balance of this commission.
Yeah.
I just wanted
Yeah,
that information because it wasn't clear to me.
I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we will begin. We have nominations and seconders for all
No,
three. Jerry?
I don't have the second on any of them.
Oh, okay. Andrew Esposito, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and Michael Shanbron, is there a second? Thank you, Paul. And Steve Falsigno, is there a second?
Second.
And David, okay. And we will begin at the top. All in favor of Andrew Esposito, please signify by saying aye.
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 That's unanimous. Next one is Michael Shanbron. Please, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. It's carried 4-2, and that fills the spots. Moving on to Conservation Commission. Are there any nominations, Sheila? I'll call
I
on you
have
first.
nominations. I have Valerie Holly King, Diana McCarthy Mercury, and Barbara Hagan Smith.
Thank you. Are there any other wait a minute, let me ask for a second on Valerie Holly King. Thank you, Joe Crisco. Diana McCarthy Mercury, second. Anybody?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. And Barbara Hagan Smith, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I will call on first vote Valerie Holly King to 2025. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Here, the screen looks like unanimous. That's good. Next one, Diana McCarthy Mercury to 2025. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That's another unanimous. And lastly, co-endorsed Barbara Hagan Smith, Republican. Great. Till 2025. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Jerry, have you got all those?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next one is the Commission on Publicly Owned Properties. We have, Bill, I'll turn to you first. Are there any nominations?
I have 3 nominations: Patricia McKeon, Leslie Lyons, and Todd Sasso.
Thank you. Is there a second for Patricia McKeon?
Yeah, I'll second.
Thank you, David
I
Logan.
like Pat. She's good. I enjoy serving with her.
Sure, I like her very much. Leslie Lyons, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. And Todd Sasso, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Paul. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll move on to the vote. All in favor of Patricia McKeon, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay,
Abstain.
you abstain. Okay, thank you, David. So that's a 4-1-0 or 4-0-1. I don't know how you do that, Jerry Shaw.
Well, was that four
It was 4.
ayes? Who was the nay?
There were no nays. There was an abstention. There were 5 yeses, I guess, right? And 1 abstention from David Vogel.
Okay.
All right. And then moving on to Leslie Lyons. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any abstentions on that one?
I'm going to abstain again. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And are there any negatives? No. So we have that again is 5-1 abstention.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly is Todd Sasso. I will call all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And any
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that again is 5 yeses and 1 abstention. All right, thank you. Moving along to the Economic Development Commission.
Hmm.
Sheila, do you have any nominations from the Democratic Town Committee?
I do. Scott Prudhomme, Arthur Katz, and Robert Scherer.
Thank you. Is there a second to Scott Prudhomme? Thanks, Joe
Second.
Chris. Thank you. Arthur Katz, second. Anybody?
Second.
Thank you, Paul. And Robert Scherer, second. Anybody?
Second.
Okay, thank you. And
have
are there any
another-
other nominations?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Robert Hill.
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. With that, we'll start at the top. Scott Prudhomme, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any
Nay.
abstentions?
Hey,
You're both nay for
Yeah,
Scott Prudhomme.
yes.
Thank you. And I'm assuming no abstentions because we're out of numbers. Okay. Next is Arthur Katz. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, are those against?
nay,
Hey,
Thank you. That's a 4-2. And then Robert Scherer, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, signify by nay.
hey,
That's 2. Okay, so that's a 4-2. Thank you very much.
so,
And the spots are filled.
so we're not considering Robert Hill.
Positions are filled.
Qualified,
Um,
very qualified individual, will be very good for the EDC, has extensive business experience, has turned many businesses around, increased market share, has increased
There
profits.
are always, David, there are always openings all during the next 2-4 years, whatever, and I'm sure if something comes up, nominate him again, it would be fine. Okay, thank you. EMS Commission is next, I believe, to 2025. Do we have any nominations? Sheila
Yes.
first.
Alan Davidson, Benjamin Cherry, and Roy Ivans.
Great. All right. Thank you. Is there a second for Alan Davidson?
Second.
Thanks, Joe. Benjamin Cherry, is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Paul. And Roy Ivans.
Second.
Thank you, David. We'll begin the vote. We have seconds and nominations and seconds for all three. First is Alan Davidson. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Is that unanimous? Okay. Thank you. Second is Benjamin Cherry. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
aye,
Aye.
Again, unanimous. And lastly, Roy Ivans. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. So those are all 6-zip. Great. Thank you. Next is GATCOM. We have 2 openings, I believe. Sheila, do you have someone from the Democratic Town Committee?
Yes, I have Tobina Nwangwu and Mary Hill.
Thank you. And I think Mary Hill was also a nominee from the Republican Town Committee.
Mhm.
Okay,
Correct.
Great. Thanks, guys. Okay. With that, is there a second to Toby?
Second.
Thanks, Joe. I know he goes by Toby. And is there a second to Mary Hill?
Second.
I'll second Mary Hill. Okay, with that, whatever. We have to duke it out on that one. All right, so first we have votes and seconds. First one is Toby Nwangwu. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Any nays or abstentions? I think we're all unanimous on that one. And Mary Hill, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That one is unanimous. Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Hold on. Whew. Running out of speech here. Okay, we go on to Human Services. I guess I'll call on Sheila McCrevin from the Democratic Town Committee first. Go ahead.
Janet Charleglio, Jennifer Clark Lofters, Viviana Livesay, Lauren Faith Miller, and Kathy Austin.
Thank you. And I will note Janet Charleglio and Viviana are long-serving members of this commission, have done a great job, and they have co-endorsed. So that's great. It's a great commission. Okay, with every commission is great. I shouldn't do that. Okay, with that, I will call first. Did I get seconds on these? I didn't yet, right, Jerry Shaw?
No,
That's correct.
Okay, here we go. Janet Charleglio,
Second,
thank you. Jennifer Clark Lofters,
second,
thank you. Viviana Livesay,
Second,
thank you. Lauren Faith Miller,
second,
thank you. And Kathy Austin,
second.
thank you.
Beth, if I can ask one more question. On my first list that I got, and I was studying it, trying to figure out all this stuff, Kathy Ostrom wasn't there. She was added. Was there an additional vacancy we didn't know about or something?
I guess it was a spot. I don't know. My guess is, and maybe the Democrats can correct me if I'm wrong, from the nominating committee, I believe that there was a vacancy and we didn't have anybody, but then she reached out and it's a Democratic spot and we took her. She was, I'm not sure how
I
she
wondered
appeared.
what the change was all about. You know,
I didn't see how that happened behind the scenes. So nominating, I guess, found her and it's all good. So.
just curious. Things change when you're ready for one thing. It weirds me out. Thank you.
Yeah, get ready. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand.
You drink wine, we should perhaps get serving wine at these things, right?
we
It'll
have
get
to
a little.
play the game as if it were a real one, you know? I really think
Thank
you
you.
told me that a long time ago. Anyway,
Okay, I'm glad we're laughing. Okay, with that, Jerry, we have first and seconds on all of these, correct?
Correct.
Yay. Okay, so I
We
will call
vote
first
all of them
Janet.
at once? Can't we vote all of them once? I don't think there's gonna be any objection.
I believe we can, since everybody's got an endorsement, and I think we're all in agreement. There were no other nominations. I love it. All in favor of Janet, Jennifer, Viviana, Lauren, and Kathy to fill these 5 spots.
Aye.
I,
Ta-da! Okay, thank you.
mhm.
Next page. We move on to inland wetlands. Let's see, we have 4 openings, I believe. Okay. Sheila, do you have any nominations from the Democratic Town Committee? And then I'll ask the Republican Town Committee. Go ahead.
I do. Barry Josephs, Robert Blythe, Joshua Goldberg, and Stephen Sosensky for the alternate position.
Okay, thank you. Let's get a second for Barry Josephs first.
Second.
Thanks, Joe. Bob Blythe, second. I'll
Second.
do it. Okay. Okay. Joshua Goldberg.
Second.
Thank you, Paul. And Steve Sosensky as the alternate.
Second.
Okay, thank you. And then I will ask the Republican nominating from the Republican nominating committee. Go ahead. Thank you, David Vogel.
Yeah, I would.
I got to figure out how I'm going to call on you guys. Should I say Vogel and Vogler or David 1, David 2?
Anything you want. You can call me coach. I don't care.
All right. That's
I would like to nominate Lin Yang, who was in fact on my original list as a cross-endorsed candidate, and now is not on the list at all. So I'd like to nominate Lin Yang.
okay. Thank you. Is there a second?
Yep, second.
Thank you, David. Okay, very good. Thank you. I just got this a little while ago too. So, okay, here we go.
So in the previous list, we had 2 unaffiliated people. The earliest list that I received had Steve Sosensky and Lin Yang as unaffiliated. And now we've gone to 1 unaffiliated who wasn't on the original list, and 3 Democrats. Stephen Sosensky, I guess, has switched back to Democrat, and Lin Yang was left off. So that seems to have been a big change.
I thought he was an unaffiliated, but I don't know.
Well, then there's a typo on the list. I don't know either. I was curious.
I do know that the alternates did not have to satisfy the rules of minority party. Is that true, Jerry?
Correct. I think for purposes, for purposes of these nominations, he's listed as a Democrat.
Okay. All right. Great. Then I'm mistaken. Thank you. So, did we do seconds? I got this there.
So with this slate, what do we have as a configuration now for that board, party-wise?
Board, I don't have that in front of me. Does somebody have that with them? Okay. Sheila and David both. David Coach has it.
Chair is a Democrat, 2021, also another Democrat. Barry Josephs was an unaffiliated and apparently has been renominated. A Democrat 2023, another Democrat 2023, another Democrat 2023, and an alternate who goes off in 2021. So I guess that one's being replaced, but was also a Democrat. So that was a apparent committee that was non-compliant to begin with 7 members and only 1 unaffiliated.
So I think the understanding is that alternates are not counted for the minority party representation as members of the committee because they're alternates. They count separately.
Okay.
So there's 2 alternates and there's 5 full members. And for 5 full members, 1 person has to be minority
I
party.
get it. Okay.
I think.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I'm not an attorney, so I can't tell you that for sure, but that's my understanding.
Right. So both of our alternates are Democrats. So we have just merely token minimal involvement in the minority position here. 1 out of 5. So I guess that's if we continue on with Barry Josephs, we're at least legally perhaps in compliance or apparently in compliance. Certainly, I don't think, Beth, that fits very well with your promise to the town.
Okay, thank you for that. And with that, we will get the vote done. To 2025, Barry Josephs, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Thank
Hey,
you. Bob Blythe, to 2025, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. Josh Goldberg to 2025, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All opposed on that one?
Nay.
Okay. And lastly, for the alternate position, Steve Sosensky to 2025, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. Moving on to the Library Commission. We have 5 nominations. Sheila, I guess I'll call on you first for nominations from the Democratic Town Committee.
I'd like to put names to nomination: AJ Capiello, Emily Sharp, Margaret Hamilton, Richard Blackwell, and Thanbu Huntington.
Thank you. Is there a second for AJ Capiello? Thank you, Joe.
second.
Is there a second for Emily Sharp?
Second.
Thank you. Is there a second for Margaret Hamilton?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. Is there a second for Richard Blackwell?
Second.
Thank you. And is there a second for Thanbu Huntington?
Second.
Thank you. Calling on the Republican Town Committee, do you have any nominations to add?
I have Cindy Zach.
Are you nominating her?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Is there a second? Okay, thank you. There's a second. Okay, thank you very much. Great. All right, we'll start at the top. AJ Capiello, nominated by the Republicans and the Democrats to 2025. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Let's see. Next is Emily Sharp. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Any nays? That one was unanimous, correct?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Next is Margaret Hamilton. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, was that unanimous?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. So that's a 5 and a 1. Okay. Next to Richard Blackwell. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All opposed?
Nay.
And David
Abstain.
Vogel?
Abstain.
Okay,
Abstain.
so that's a 4.
Take a position.
4 for, 1 abstention, and 1 nay, correct?
Hmm.
Great. And lastly, let's see, we got 2 more. Um, Ty Bun Huntington, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Yeah, I think we have 4.
Aye.
Okay, that's a 5. And is there any abstentions?
Yeah, I'm going to abstain. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all of us. All right, the positions are filled. Next is Recreation Commission. Sheila, I'll ask you to begin.
I have all 4 members returning, currently serving: Jane Shernow, William DeRosa, Andrea Weinstein, Kimberly Hines.
Okay. Is there a second for Jane Shernow?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Is there a second for William DeRosa?
Second.
Thank you. Is there a second for Andrea Weinstein?
Second.
Thank you. Is there a second for Kimberly Hines?
Second.
Okay, thank you. And do you guys have any other nominations?
I would like to nominate Sanjay Gupta.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. We have first and seconds for everybody, starting at the top. Jane Shernow, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That was a 5 or 6.
Aye. Yeah, aye. I'm an
Okay,
aye.
so that's okay. Next is William DeRosa, signify by saying aye.
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 It's also unanimous. Next is Andrea Weinstein, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. David Vogel?
Yeah, aye.
Okay. All right, thank you. And lastly is Kimberly Hines. These are all 4 people that are all returning, right? That was 4 openings and they're all returning. Okay. Just clarifying that. I didn't understand that in the beginning. Okay. And we'll call on Kimberly for Kimberly Hines. Please
Aye.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. That is also unanimous and positions are filled. Thank you. Now we move on to Town Plan and Zoning. Let's see. We have some nominations from, I guess, Sheila first. Go ahead.
Sure. We'd like to nominate Jeffrey Kennedy for the full position ending in 2023. He'll move up from an alternate to the full position. And then for the positions ending in 2025, Paul Schatz, Lawrence Greenberg, and Andrew Skolnick for the 3 full positions, and then Kathleen Hunter for the alternate position.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second for
Second.
Jeffrey Kennedy? Thank you, Joe. Paul Schatz? Is
Second.
there a
Second.
Thank you. Larry Greenberg? I'll do it. Okay, I think I can do it. Okay, Andy Skolnick?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Joe. And the alternate position, Kathy Hunter? I'll do
Second.
it. Okay. Thank you very much. And then I will call on the nominations for the Republican Town Committee.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Nick Zito,
Ooh.
who works for the Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection. It is an excellently qualified person on wetlands, particularly for this particular commission.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to also nominate Cindy Anger, who is Assistant Corporate Counsel for the City of Stamford, Assistant Counsel for the Assistant City Attorney for the City of Milford. She's a magistrate in the Superior Claims Court. Her expertise is in land use issues and municipal law issues. She would be an excellent addition to the TPZ. He's also a professor at law school up in Waterbury.
Thank you. Is there a
I would like
second?
to second that.
Thank you very much. Okay. I think we have first and seconds for everybody. And Jeff Kennedy serving is moving up. All in favor signify by saying aye to Jeff Kennedy.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Next is Paul Schatz. Signify by saying aye in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
That one's unanimous. Thank you. Next is Larry Greenberg, signify by saying aye in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Next is Andrew Skolnick, sorry, signify in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 That's 5, I think. And
Nay.
David, okay, thank
Nay.
you. It's a 5-1. And Kathy Hunter as the alternate to 2025. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed?
Nay.
That's
Nay.
2. Okay, thank you very much. And moving on to the Building Board of Appeals, I think it is. It says Building Appeals, but Building Board of Appeals. There are 2 spots open, I think. And Sheila, I'll call on you to make nominations from the Democratic Town Committee.
Sure. Ilya Mowerman and Patricia McKeon.
Okay, is there a second to Ilya Mowerman?
Second.
Thank you. That was cross-endorsed. Is there a second to Patricia McKeon?
Second.
I'll second her. Okay. All right. And are there any other nominations from the Republican Town Committee?
I have none.
Okay, thank you.
None.
Building Board of Appeals, we'll start with Ilya Mowerman. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Is 6-0. And then we have Patty McKeon. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, it's again anonymous. Anonymous. Oh boy, unanimous. Sorry. Wrong choice of words there. Sorry, guys. Okay. Next, we move on to the Ethics Commission. There are 2 openings, I believe. And there are, Sheila, do you have any nominations for that commission?
I have 2 nominations, Andrew Esposito and Rona Shapiro.
Okay. Thank you. Is there a second to Andy Esposito?
Second.
Thank you. Is there a second to Rabbi Shapiro?
Second.
Thank you. All right. And do the Republicans have any nominations for this?
Yeah, I have Richard Frisilius.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a first and a second on that one. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll call for the first one, Andrew Esposito. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
David Vogel, did you?
Aye. Aye.
Saw your head down. I couldn't read your lips. I'm not.
I'm reading. I'm sorry.
No worries. That's okay. So that's a 6-0. And then we have Rabbi Shapiro. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All opposed?
Opposed.
And David, I did.
I'm going to have to abstain. I can't vote against the rabbi, but I nominated Richard Frisilius.
I hear you.
Deserves consideration. What can I say?
All right. So that's 4 ayes, 1 nay from David Vogel, and 1 abstention from David Lober. Correct? We got that one right. Okay, great. That's funny. Okay, and Sperry Park Committee. Let's see, there are 3 openings. I will turn to Sheila for nominations, please.
Sure. For our last Board or Commission, we have 3 members to nominate, Michael Walter, Jane Chernow, and Clifford Lynch.
Wonderful. Is there a second for Michael Walter?
A second.
Thank you. Is there a second for Jane Chernow?
Second.
Thank you. And is there a second for Cliff Lynch?
Second.
Thank you. I was going to third him. He went to school with my son. I like Cliff. Okay. Are there any other nominations from the Republican Town Committee?
No.
Okay, great. All right. So we will move on to Sperry Park. All in favor of Michael Walter, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. All in favor of Jane Chernow, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I think it's unanimous. And lastly, all in favor of Cliff Lynch, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I think we got those all done. And that completes the part 1 of our evening. Okay. Now, next
Can I
we
say
have.
one thing before we move up the nomination? Jeanette Glicksman is a human services director, but she's also the chairman of the Library Commission.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Correct.
She
This
won't
would be
vote.
I think her term
She's gone. I have a huge problem. I do not have a copy of the liaison. I do have the, I don't have a copy.
don't have that
Other-
information, but
Yeah, she goes off in 2021.
thank
She's
you.
done.
I apologize for any animosity that might have raised.
No worries. Okay.
But that was the information I was working with, so.
I have a problem. I had a computer malfunction, actually a printer malfunction. Can anybody share the screen for the other officials? I do not have it. I don't know what happened to that paper. My printer jammed and I tried to pull everything out and I couldn't get it out.
Mhm.
Does anybody have that? Jerry Shaw, do you have it?
I have it. I'll have to get it. It's in my computer.
Sorry, guys. I thought it was in this pile. I can get up on my scooter and see if it landed on the floor somewhere. We're gonna get better at this, I promise. Maybe it's on my phone. Hold on. Yep, I can do it from my phone. I found it on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So other officials that have to be appointed that are not similar to their positions like the town treasurer and things like that. So we don't vote on these, correct, Jerry? We just or do we?
Well, I think you make the nominations and you can just have a vote by everybody. That's fine.
All right, fine. So I'd have to get a second on all these as well?
No, you don't have to. You can just do it on your own.
Okay, great. All right, continuing on as town treasurer to 2023 is Alan Rice. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Next is the assistant treasurer, and right now it's Joseph Dean Salato. He's continuing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Let's see, our labor consultant to 2023 is David Ryan Sr. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is, I'm making the screen bigger here. Our census taker to 2023 is Stephanie Charleglio. Signify by saying aye.
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 All in favor? Okay, thank you. The Cable Advisory Council, 2 people. Cindy, these are all pretty much continuing folks, thank goodness. Cindy Gerber and George Groth here. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Let's see, our Central Regional Tourism to 2024 is Betsy Yagla. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Our EMS Regional Council to 2022 is our chief, Frank Capiello. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Our Greater New Haven Water Pollution Bureau to 2024 is Jeff Ginsburg. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Quinnipiac Valley Health District, we have 2 people, continuing on, Dr. Richard Martinello and Roy Ivans. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Our Regional Water Authority representative to 2024, continuing on, Mark Levine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Our Greater New Haven Transit District, recommended by Human Services, it is our current social worker, Judy Young. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. West Rock Ridge State Park Advisory Council. Whoa. Let's see, that's to 2023. Jason Morrill, who's leaving Conservation Commission, has agreed to serve on that. Don Menzies, I think, was there. And he resigned, correct?
Yes.
Yep. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Then we go to our citation hearing officers. There are 2, Robert Burke and B. Patrick Madden. They continue on to 2023. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We have a tree warden and an assistant tree warden, or maybe 2 tree wardens, I don't know. For 2023, continuing on, are Warren Connors and Adam Parsons.
Mhm.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And then our investment committee to 2023, I am an ex officio member, so you don't have to vote on me. Joe Crisco will continue to be the representative from the Board of Selectmen. Matt Giglietti will be the representative from the Board of Finance continuing on. Alan Rice is our treasurer, is required to serve on that. Continuing on, 2 at-large people, Laura Ferrantes, Ferranti Fernandez, and at-large Jay Daya has agreed to serve from the Woodbridge Board of Education. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And last is, here we are. I'm going to enter a motion to enter into a retainer agreement with Attorney Weiner for $90,000 per year for a 2-year term. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. And I will call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, carried 4-2. And let's see, there are appointments. Okay, lastly, we get to, have I done everything except the liaison assignments and deputy assignments? Okay, great. And I'm going to go out and get a new printer tomorrow. Send my husband them in a cast. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm going to call them out, and hopefully everybody will agree. I tried to work on it as best as I could to make sure we start with. Amity Board of Ed, Paul Kuriakose. Is that okay with you, Paul?
Yes.
Thank you. The Agricultural Commission, a brand new commission, which is sort of exciting. Paul, do you agree to serve on that?
Sure.
Thank you. Conservation, David Lober, would you be interested in serving on that? Thank
Yes.
you. That's a great commission.
It is.
They're all great.
Some are better than others.
And then Coopop, I thought maybe Sheila would be a good match there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Economic Development, a very important commission. Paul Kuriakose, would you be willing to do that?
Certainly.
Thank you. I will continue to serve as the Board of Finance liaison from the Board of Selectmen for the Board of Finance. ATCOM on the 4th Tuesday, I thought that'd be interesting for David Vogel. Would you be willing to serve?
At your pleasure.
Thank you. Wow, that's cool. Thank you. Human Services, David Lober, I would hope you would be willing to go back.
Sure.
I know they were pleased with you. Thank you.
I enjoyed that. Human services is fine. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. Town Plan and Zoning, I was hoping Joe Crisco would continue to serve on that one. Thank you. Inland Wetlands, David Lober, would you be willing to do that?
David, me?
Yes, David Lober.
Inland wetlands.
Yep.
Okay.
And then for library, I was hoping David Vogel would step up and take that one. Thank you.
Again, at your pleasure.
Thank you. We lost a lot of commission. We lost 4 Board of Selectmen members, so I'm trying to figure this all out. Sorry. Next is the Police Commission, Joe Crisco. I would hope you agree to continue. Thank you. And also on the Fire Commission, as you served the last 4 years. Wonderful. Well, David Vogel, I hope you'll agree to be on recreation.
Certainly.
Thank you. All right. Coach, right? Okay, thank you. And then the Woodbridge Board of Education, I would ask that Sheila McCrevin, would you be willing to take that one?
Mhm.
I would.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Then we have 2 actual Board of Selectmen subcommittees. One of them is the Ordinance Committee. They meet as needed, as does Personnel. And I would like to ask if perhaps Sheila McCrevin, David Vogel, and Joe Crisco could serve on the Ordinance Committee. Is that okay?
Certainly.
That's an interesting one, as is Personnel. And I will stay on Personnel if it's okay with everyone. And then I'd like to ask David Lober. He was on with me 2 years ago, and it'd be great to have you back, David.
Yeah.
And Paul Kuriakose.
You have a short memory, Beth.
That's a
Yeah.
good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. And
Thank you. Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Be happy to.
Thank you. And we did the Investment Committee. And lastly, an appointment of the First Selectman is the Deputy First Selectman. And I would like to nominate Sheila McCrevin. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. And I will call for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 oh, aye, my hand's up over here.
Okay. Are there any abstentions? Are there any nays? Okay, that's done. Okay, thank you very much. What did I forget, Mrs. Shaw?
Nothing was forgotten.
Oh.
If there was, I'll tell you tomorrow morning.
All right. I have to do it again in July. So our next meeting is, I believe, or when we have the swearing in ceremony on July 1st. Hopefully you've all received an invitation by email, and there are invitations for folks to pick up if they want to send them out to friends and family. And Mrs. Shaw has those at her desk. And
Beth, I did want to, if you'll indulge me, I did want to tell the other board members that I won't be there. I have a previous family engagement of a wedding that I have to attend. I'm sorry to miss the induction ceremony.
Well, then you won't be on the Board of Selectmen. That's, you make the choice, wedding with the Board of Selectmen.
it doesn't work that way, Jerry Weiner. Even I know that, and I'm not an attorney. You can just go down and see Stephanie.
Just joking, just joking.
And Beth, I appreciate your patience with my questions today, because it is a new experience for me.
I know. And it's hard sometimes. This is hard, but we got through it.
I'll learn.
And
Quick
you can
study.
see Stephanie. Anybody who is not there, we can also invite all the appointed board and commissions members, if you were tuning in this evening, to come to that event, because they can get sworn in en masse with Stephanie Tarliglio, rather if you have to go in and get sworn in. But David, David Coach, you can do that. So that's good. And lastly, our first meeting, I believe, unless something urgent comes up, after July 1, will be the second Wednesday of the month, which is July 14th at 5 o'clock. And we're thinking about, we haven't decided yet whether it's going to be in person, but I'm kind of thinking maybe we could lean toward that. We haven't figured it out yet. Just trying to get through all this. So with that, I will call for a motion to adjourn. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Non-debatable motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Hi.
Guys, okay. Have a good night. Have a good rest of the week. Have a good wedding.
Thank you, everyone.